Let's begin with the explanation of scene 2 of Act 3. And this scene is one of the most important scenes of the play, as it is the climax of the casket story. Right? This scene brings the casket story to its climax, because in this scene we find that Bassanio has come over there to make his choice over the caskets, and he is the one who will make the correct choice and win Portia as his wife. And this is what Portia also wanted. We have come to know through previous scenes that Portia always wanted Bassanio to be there. She once had met him, and in Act 1, Bassanio informs Antonio that he received some speechless fair messages of love from Portia's eyes. So somehow Portia has an inclination towards Bassanio, and in this scene we'll find that Bassanio is able to make the right choice and is able to win Portia, and how it carries on. Let's begin. So the scene 2, it takes place in, yes, the scene 2 takes place in a room in Portia's house, a room in Portia's house at Belmont, right? You should know the venue of all scenes, where the scene take place. Okay. Enter Bassanio, Portia, and all their trains. Trains here refer to train of followers, train of attendants, servants, all the people who work for them. And Greciano is also there, because Greciano has accompanied Bassanio to Belmont. So at this moment, Greciano is also found in this scene. And Nerissa, of course. Now, Portia says, I pray you, tarry. Tarry means wait. I request you, wait. Now, actually, she is speaking to Bassanio, and she is asking her to wait, for some time before making his choice. She says, I pray you, wait. Pause a day or two before you hazard. Before you hazard means before you take the risk. What is the risk? The risk which is associated with the lottery of casket. I request you, please wait for a day or two before you take the risk. Because in choosing wrong, I lose your company. So, why is it that she wants Bassanio to wait for a day or two? Because she says, by making a wrong choice, I may lose your company. So, she doesn't want to lose his company. She wants to be there with him for some time. Therefore, forbear a while. Therefore, forbear means have patience for a while. Have patience for a while, and don't move ahead for making the choice. There is something tells me, but it is not love. There is something tells me. Now, she is explaining the feelings of her heart. She says, there is something that tells me I would not lose you. Would not means wish not. I don't wish to, or I don't want to lose you. And you know yourself, hate counsels not in such a quality. And you yourself know, hate does not counsel, does not advise in such a quality. Quality means manner. So now you may see here that Portia, though she loves Bassanio, but is not able to confess it, right? And she says, there is something that tells me, but it is not love, that I don't want to lose you. I want to be there in your company. But at the same time, she also says, but you know yourself, hate doesn't advise in such a manner. So if it is not hate, it should be love only. But she is not ready to confess it. But lest you should not misunderstand me well, but otherwise you should not misunderstand me well, in case you have not understood me well. And yet a maiden hath no tongue but thought. And yet a maiden is a young girl, unmarried girl is called a maiden. And yet a maiden, a young girl, hath no tongue but thought, means she has no other choice but to think. Okay, actually her thought may not be expressed. That is why she has no tongue. She cannot speak, but think. I would detain you. Detain you means I would make you stay. I would detain you. I would make you stay here some month or two before you venture for me. Before you venture for me. Before you try to win me. I just want that you should stay here for a month or so before you try to win me. I could teach you how to choose right, but then I'm forsworn. Now she says, it is possible for me to tell you which is the right casket, how to choose right. But in that case, I am forsworn. Forsworn means I'll be violating my oath. Okay, I'll be violating my oath. I told you in Elizabethan times, oaths were taken very seriously, and if a person violates any oath, that person was supposed to be forsworn. So she says, I could teach you, but then in that way, I am forsworn. So will I never be, and I will never be that. Okay. So may you miss me. Then there is another chance, then there is another possibility that you may miss me. How can he miss her? By choosing wrong casket. But if you do, you'll make me wish a sin that I had been forsworn. But if you do, means if you miss me, means if you choose the wrong casket, in that condition, you'll make me wish a sin that I had been forsworn. I would be violating my oath. काश मैंने अपनी कसम तोड़ दी होती. Beshrew your eyes, curse your eyes, curse your eyes. They have overlooked me and divided me. They have overlooked me. Overlooked means they have cast a spell on me. Okay, charmed me, right? They have overlooked me, they have charmed me and divided me. And that way they have divided me. One half of me is yours, the other half yours, mine own, I would say. Now you see, this is in a way is a confession of love, but she is doing it in an indirect way. So she says that, curse your eyes because they have cast a spell upon me and they have divided me into two parts. Half of me is yours and the other half also yours. I would say that the other half, which is mine own, I would say is also yours. But if mine, then yours, and so all yours. So the part which is mine is also yours. So all of me is yours. Now I am yours in a way, she is trying to say. Oh, these naughty times, naughty times means bad times. Oh, these bad times puts bars between the owners and his rights. The time is so bad that it puts bars. Bars means barrier. It puts barriers between the owners and their rights. Though I am yours, but still I am not yours. Though you are my owner in a way, you own me, but still, the time is so bad that it is placing barriers between owners and their belongings. So in that way, though I am yours, still you can't have me. Let fortune go to hell for it, not I. Let fortune, let fate, destiny go to hell. Let destiny be damned for causing it, not I. I am not responsible for it. It is my destiny which is responsible for this situation. I speak too long, but it is to peace the time. I speak too long, but it is just to peace the time, to prolong the time, to delay the time, to ek it. Ek means to add to it, to increase it, and to draw it out in length, to stay you from election. To stay you means to hold you back from election. Election means the choice of caskets. So I'm speaking too much, and that I'm doing just to prolong time so that I can hold you back from making choice. Bassanio says, let me choose, for as I am, I live upon the rack. Let me choose, for as I am, as my condition is, I live upon the rack. Now, please understand, rack was an instrument of torture. That was an instrument of torture. Those days when it was a kind of instrument, you can say, which was used for torture. There was a kind of frame on which people were stretched, okay, until they confess their crimes, right? So until they confess their crimes. So Bassanio says, means the way you are stretching the time, so that stretching the time is like as if you are stretching me upon the rack to confess the crime. Portia says, upon the rack, Bassanio, then confess what treason there is mingled with your love. When you say you are upon the rack, it means you must have committed a crime. So please confess, please tell what treason there is mingled. Treason is the crime of disloyalty, What treason there is mingled. Mingled is mixed with your love. What treason have you committed? Bassanio says, none but that ugly treason of mistrust. None but that ugly treason of mistrust. Mistrust is doubt, which makes me fear the enjoying of my love. He says, nothing but that ugly feeling of doubt, which makes me fear, which makes me dread that I may not have the one I love for my wife. Okay, enjoying of my love. I may not have the one I love for my wife. There may as well be amity and life. Amity means friendship. There may as well be friendship and life between snow and fire. Tween means between snow and fire, as treason and my love. He says, the way there cannot be friendship and union between snow and fire, so also there cannot be any relation between treason and my love for you, right? Portia says, I, yes, but I fear you speak upon the rack, where men enforced do speak anything. She says, yes, but I fear you are speaking under the pressure of that torture. You know, upon the rack means under the pressure of that torture, where men are enforced, means compelled to speak anything. If you are saying this, how should I trust you? Because when you yourself said that you are speaking upon the rack, now you see, Portia is playing with words, and for this, we can always say Portia is a very witty character. She is a very witty woman. She knows how to use words, you know. Bassanio says, promise me life and I'll confess the truth. Promise me life, promise to spare my life and I'll confess the truth. For that, Portia says, well then, confess and live. Okay, then this option was offered to traitors actually on the rack as the alternative to dying with their secrets. Either they should reveal their secrets or they'll have to die. She says, okay, confess and live. Bassanio says, confess and love had been the very sum of my confession. This would be the gist of my confession. Oh, happy torment, oh, happy torture. Torment means torture. Oh, happy torture, where my torturer, the person who is torturing me, doth teach me answers for deliverance. What a happy torture I have, where the person who is torturing me is teaching me answers for deliverance. Deliverance means to be released. All right. But let me to my fortune and the casket. But let me go to my fortune and the caskets, because I want to seek my fortune by making a choice of the caskets. Portia says, away then. All right, then you move away. I am locked in one of them. One of them here refers to one of the caskets. I am locked in one of the caskets, and I here refers to her picture. Okay, my picture is locked in one of the caskets. If you do love me, you will find me out. If you do love me, you will find me out. And then there is a long dash, because she takes a pause and she instructs others. She says, Nerissa and the rest here refers to other servants and maids who were standing over there, stand all aloof. Aloof means out of the way. You all please stand out of the way, get aside. Okay, let music sound while he doth make his choice. Let music sound, let music be played while he makes his choice over the casket. Now, this is very important part, children. Often, you know, it comes and the questions are asked, why did Portia want the music to be played at the time when Bassanio was making his choice? Because she did not do so when other suitors were making the choice. So you have to write the reasons which are given here in this speech by Portia herself. You are not going to write anything else. So she says, let music sound while he doth make his choice. Then, if he lose, he makes a swan like end, fading in music. So, if he loses, if he chooses the wrong casket, in that way his end will be swan like end. Now, please understand why swan like end, because there was an Elizabethan belief. And what was that Elizabethan belief? They believed that Swan sings only once in his life, and that is just before it dies. Okay, Swan sings only once in his lifetime, that is before its death. So she says, if Bassanio chooses the wrong casket, then that music will make him have swan-like end. Okay, fading in music, that the comparison may stand more proper, and in that way the comparison will stand more proper. My eye shall be the stream of water, and watery deathbed for him. Because my eyes filled with tears shall be the stream and watery deathbed, as is the river, is the deathbed to the swan. Similarly, my eyes filled with tears will be the watery deathbed to Bassanio. He may win. And what is music then? Now, there is another possibility. Yeah, that possibility is that he may win also. Why is it that we should think that he will lose? He may win. And what is music then? What is the role of music then? Then music is even as the flourish when true subjects bow to a new crowned monarch. At that time, this music is even as the flourish. Flourish, you can say, is ceremonial fanfare. Ceremonial fanfare. Ceremonial fanfare, yeah, like on trumpets. जब नया राजा कोई बनता था, and his coronation was done, at that time there used to be ceremonial fanfare, trumpets were played. So that kind of music she is talking about. So if he wins the right casket, in that condition the music will serve as the flourish, as the ceremonial fanfare when true subjects bow to a new crowned monarch, at the coronation of a monarch. Such it is, as are those dulcet sounds in break of day that creep into the dreaming bridegroom's ear and summon him to marriage. Then she gives another example. Such it is, and then there will be another role that music will play, and here she gives an allusion to that old English custom, and that according to that custom, music was played under the windows of the bridegroom's bedroom on the morning of his marriage. So, if he wins the right casket, he'll be able to win Portia and then they'll get married. So, the music at that time will act as the music. Those dulcet sounds, those sweet sounds, dulcet means sweet sounds in the break of day. Break of day means dawn, or you can say early morning, right? That creep into uh, early morning, that creep into the dreaming bridegroom's ear and summon him to marriage. Summon means call him to marriage. Then this music will act as the music which is played under the windows of the bridegroom's bedroom on the morning of his marriage. Now he goes. Now Bassanio must be proceeding towards the caskets, and for that she says, now he goes with no less presence, but with much more love. With no less presence. Presence here refers to the handsome appearance, So she is somehow attracted by his appearance too. With no less presence, but with much more love. That young Alcides, Alcides, another name, Hercules. Hercules was another name of Alcides, with much more love than young Alcides. When he did redeem, redeem means save. When he saved, did redeem means when he saved the virgin tribute paid by howling Troy to the sea monster. Now there is this reference, howling, you can say wailing, wailing. Troy is the people of Troy. So actually, Hercules means Alcides. He saved unmarried daughter of the Trojan king, okay, from being sacrificed, a virgin tribute, okay, from being sacrificed to a sea monster. So this daughter of a king was supposed to be sacrificed to a sea monster, but Alcides saved that girl from being sacrificed, from becoming that virgin tribute. Okay, so now she is comparing that situation. So he acted not from love but from the desire to get the horses offered as a reward. So Portia sees herself as that girl and Bassanio with much more love than Alcides. I stand for sacrifice. Now, Portia, like that girl, stands for sacrifice. She says, I stand for sacrifice. The rest aloof. The rest aloof means the rest of you, like Nerissa, Gratiano, all those who were standing there, are the Dardanian wives. They are the Dardanian wives. Now, Dardanian wives, you can say Trojan women. Trojan women. Okay. Trojan women who with bleared visages, bleared means Stained. Why stained? Tear stained. Tear stained visages. Visages means faces. Who with tear stained faces come forth to view the issue of the exploit. Issue is the result or consequence of the exploit. Exploit is the brave deed or the operation that was going on at that time, the operation of saving that girl. So you all are like those Dardanian wives, like those Trojan women who are standing over there to see the result of that brave deed. Go Hercules. She is actually referring to Bassanio and she calls him Hercules. Go Hercules, live thou, I live. If you live, then I live. With much more dismay, dismay you can say disappointment, I view the fight, then thou you makes the fray. Not disappointment, with much more alarm you can say, I view the fight. I see this fight. Fight actually she is referring to the choice that he'll be making. She is behaving as if he is going for a war or for a fight, you know. Then thou who makes the fray. Fray again means fight. Then you who is going to fight it. Okay. Uh, so now, while Bassanio makes his choice and Portia has already, instructed that music has to be played. So a song, the whilst Bassanio comments on the caskets to himself. So a song is being played while Bassanio comments on the caskets. That song is about love. Tell me, where is fancy bread? Fancy, you can say love only, affection. Fancy bread, bread means born. Tell me, where is fancy bread? Where is love born? Or in the heart or in the head? Does it born in the heart or in the head? Head means mind, right? How begot, how nourished, how it took birth, begot again means born. How born, how nourished, reply, reply. It is endangered. Again, it means fancy love is engendered. Sorry, it is engendered. Engendered means conceived in the eye. With gazing fed, it is fed with gazing. Gazing here means loving glances that lovers give to each other. It is fed with loving glances. And fancy dies and love dies in the cradle where it lies. It dies in the cradle. Cradle means the eyes only, because it lies in the eyes of lovers, so it dies over there only. Let us all ring fancy's knell. Knell is the death bell. I'll begin it. Ding dong bell, ding dong bell. So this is the song which was sung by all of them, all the musicians. Now Bassanio, meanwhile, has looked at the caskets and now he'll be giving his comments about these caskets. Bassanio says, so may the outward shows be least themselves. Now, you see, so may the outward shows means outward appearance, be least themselves. Be least themselves means be not at all what they appear to be. There may be a possibility, may is used. The outward appearance may not at all show what they appear to be, what they actually are. The world is still deceived. Still means always. The world is always deceived with ornament. Ornament here refers to outer appearance. Outer appearance. The world is always deceived with ornaments, with outer appearance. And then for that, to prove this fact, he gives certain examples. The first example that he gives is about law. In law, what plea so tainted and corrupt? So tainted means bad. So bad and corrupt. Corrupt, you can say dishonest. A plea, a request, a suit that has been filed in the court. Bad and dishonest it is, but being seasoned with a gracious voice. Seasoned means covered up, but with being covered up with a gracious voice, eloquent voice of a lawyer or a justice. Obscures means hides the show of evil. So in a lawsuit, a case which is most dishonest may be pleaded in a fine eloquent voice to hide the face of the evil. When it is, presented by such an eloquent, such a gracious voice by the lawyer, then it may hide the evilness of it, right? In religion, then he gives another example. In religion, what damned error, but some sober bro will bless it and approve it with a text. In religion also, what damned error, here you can say great sin. Whatever great sin a person has committed can be committed by a man, but some sober bro, you can say pious appearance, and here actually he is referring to the priest of a church. Some pious appearance will bless it and approve it. Approve, here you can say excuse it with a text. Text here refer to Bible, the holy text. With the holy text, hiding the grossness with fair ornament. And in that way, hiding the grossness is the seriousness of that offense with fair ornament. Okay, so here he is referring to, this practice of confession in the church. When a person commits a crime or some serious offense, he may confess it to the priest, and then the priest, by reading the Bible, by quoting the Bible, actually he approves it. And so that's what he is trying to say. In religion also, it is seen that a person who has committed a very great sin, a serious offense, but some sober bro, some pious appearance of a priest or somebody, he will bless it and approve it with the text, by quoting the text, and in that way hiding the seriousness with that fair ornament, with that fair outer appearance. There is no vice so simple, but assumes some mark of virtue on his outward parts. There is no vice, there is no wrong. Vice, you can say wrong, evil, so simple. कोई भी गलत काम इतना simple नहीं होता, but assumes, but does not have some mark of virtue on his outward part. But it always has some mark of virtue. लेकिन कुछ ना कुछ appearance of virtue will always be there, on his outward parts. How many cowards whose hearts are all as false as stairs of sand? See, stairs of sand are, there can't be stairs of sand. Okay, so how many cowards, कितने कायर लोग ऐसे हैं, whose hearts, जिनके दिल ऐसे झूठे होते हैं, ऐसे false होते हैं, जैसे कि sand stairs होती हैं, wear yet upon their chins the beards of Hercules and frowning Mars. But yet they wear upon their chins the beards of Hercules and frowning Mars. लेकिन वो अपनी chins पर किसके जैसी beard रखते हैं? Hercules who was a great Trojan warrior, and Mars who is the Roman god of war. Okay, so they are supposed to be very brave. But these cowards, they always keep such beards. They want to look like these brave people like Hercules and Mars, though they are cowards from inside. Who inward searched, but if we search below the surface, inward, if we search them from inside, they have livers white as milk. They have livers white as milk. Now, please understand, white liver means the Elizabethans regarded the liver as the seat of courage. So, white liver was supposed to be of a coward. Okay, otherwise, liver should be red. If a brave man is there, his liver should be red. But white liver means that he's a coward. Okay, so these people who are having the beard or who are having the looks of Hercules or Mars, they appear to be brave, but if you search them from inside, if you inward search, if you make an inward search, you will find that they have livers white as milk, and these assume but valor's excrement. But they always assume valor is courage. Excrement is the outward sign, but they always assume the outward signs of courage to render them redoubted, to make them formidable, so that nobody doubts their courage, so that nobody doubts their bravery and believe them to be very brave, right? So he has given the example of law, then he gave the example of religion, then he gave the example of coward people, the way, they keep such an appearance that they seem brave to others. Now he gives another example of beauty. He says, look on beauty, and you shall see it is purchased by the weight. And you will see it is purchased by the weight. How can beauty be purchased by the weight? He is referring to cosmetics. He's referring to cosmetics, which therein works a miracle in nature. Which therein works a miracle in nature. In what way it does a miracle? Making them lightest that wear most of it. Making them lightest, making those who wear the most of cosmetics, who are loaded with cosmetics or who wear a lot of makeup, they become the lightest, like fairest. Okay, it seems as if they have not done any makeup and they look fairest, those who wear the most of it. So are those crisp, snaky golden locks of hair. Actually, he's talking about golden hair. In Elizabethan time, ladies, they used to wear wigs, okay, golden wigs and all. So are those crisp, snaky golden locks, crisp, you can say curly like snakes, golden locks of hair, which make it means make such wanton gambols. Wanton means lively. Such lively gambols here means movements, which makes such lively movements with the wind upon supposed fairness. Supposed fairness means upon a face which is supposed to be beautiful, often known to be the dowry of a second head. It is often known that those hair is the dowry of a second head. Dowry, you can say possession of a second head. Those hair, they do not belong to that woman who is wearing them. It is the possession of a second head. The skull that bred them, the skull on which they grew in the sepulchre, that is in the sepulchre, that is lying in the tomb. Lying in the tomb. Sepulchre is the tomb. Okay, the woman who actually, the woman who grew those hair, the hair belongs to that woman who is lying in the tomb, means she is dead. Thus, therefore, ornament means outward appearance. Therefore, outward appearance is but the gilded shore. Gilded means gold plated. It is like that gold plated shore to a most dangerous sea. It is like the bank, it is like the shore of a to the most dangerous sea. The beauteous scarf, it is like a lovely, beautiful scarf, veiling an Indian beauty. Now, Indian beauty, why is he referring? Dark skinned. Why Indian? Dark skinned, So, veiling an Indian beauty, the Elizabethan ideal of beauty was blonde with fair skin. They thought that dark skinned West Indians as Indians, veiling, hiding an Indian beauty. In a word, the seeming truth which cunning times put on to entrap the wisest. In a word, in brief, if we say, outward appearance is like the seeming truth, lagne wala sach, okay, false appearance of truth, which cunning times put on. Cunning times, you can say crafty times, crafty people, which crafty time put on to entrap the wisest, to trap the wisest people, to deceive the wisest. Therefore, then, thou gaudy gold, hard food for Midas. He has given another reference of King Midas. You must have heard that story of King Midas. He had this boon from the god that whatever he touches, it becomes of gold. Okay, so later on he was not even able to eat his food. His food became hard because it turned into gold. That's what he is referring to. Thou gaudy gold, hard food for Midas. You, which was hard food for Midas, I will none of thee. I'll have nothing of you. I have no concern with you, nor none of thee, thou pale and common drudge. Now, at the same time, he talks about silver also. Nor none of thee, thou pale and common drudge. Common drudge, you can say common means ordinary slave. You who is ordinary slave, twin between man and man. Why is silver supposed to be ordinary slave between man and man? Because passing from one man to another in the form of silver coins. So he says, even I have nothing to do with you as well. Okay, he clearly criticizes golden and silver casket, and he rejects them, denies them, saying that he has nothing to do with them. But thou meager lead, meager, you see, very unattractive. But thou meager lead, he is referring to leaden casket, which rather threatenest than does promise aught. Aught means anything, which rather threatens than promising anything. Thy paleness, your dullness, hmm, moves me more than eloquence. Your dullness moves me more than eloquence. Moves me means influences me, impresses me. Hmm? More than eloquence. Eloquence is brightness, shine. So I am more impressed by your dullness than any shine, and here choose I, joy be the consequence. And therefore I choose this, and let joy be the consequence. I hope you have understood why Bassanio chose the leaden casket.